Hi, my name is James Franke. I'm a missionary with Family Missions Company, and this is my call. About 4 years ago, I found myself as a student at Franciscan University of Steubenville. At the time, I was studying theology and catechetics, and I can tell you today that God had already done a whole lot in my life to bring me to that point. Come the spring of my last semester, 2009, I had the opportunity to come down to General Cepeda, Mexico on a mission trip. I had a friend who actually led me to the meeting, and he ended up not coming on the trip, but I followed through with it, and it changed my life. I found myself down here in General Cepeda, serving the people, serving the poor, and really having my eyes open to a way of life that I never knew existed. I grew up in the Catholic Church, but I had never heard of missions. I had never heard of Catholic missionaries. I had never heard that it was possible to live your life like that. The first 3 or 4 days while I was down in General Cepeda, I was very blessed not only to be serving with my classmates, but to come in contact and to meet a number of full-time missionaries. And what they did for me was something that I don't think I can ever repay them for. They showed me a joy that I had never seen before. They showed me a happiness that was found in rejecting the comforts of this world and living for heaven, living for something so much greater. So for a few days, I lived with the missionaries. We woke up, we had morning prayer together. We would go out in the morning and we would have these work projects. I was building a roof on a house of a family who didn't have a roof over their head. And then in the evenings, we would have the opportunity to go out to the ejidos, to go out and to share our faith, to preach the gospel, and to pray with the people. As the mission trip was coming to an end, I knew that God had begun doing something in my heart. I didn't know what, but I felt that something was changing, something was happening. The Thursday of that week, we had an opportunity to go out into the desert for what we call Desert Day. It's a time of our week where we just take aside a few hours and give them to the Lord, and really just ask Him to fill us back up, ask Him to speak to us. So that week, I had an incredible opportunity to come out to Charco San Isidro, which is a little oasis near General Cepeda. We just drive out into the desert, and then we take a little hike through the cacti and the plants and down the little river, and we come to this beautiful part of God's creation. So we came there as a group and we celebrated Mass together, and after we celebrated Mass, we all had the opportunity to go out and have about an hour or two of personal prayer time, just to be alone with God. As I was walking back into the desert, I actually saw a cave located in the side of a cliff, and I decided that I was going to have my desert day inside of that cave. And so what I did is I went to the cave and I climbed up inside of it, and I just asked God to speak to me. So as soon as I got inside that cave, I knew something was different. It was very dark, it was very cool, it was a hot summer day outside, and so it was very refreshing inside the cave. I couldn't hear anything, I couldn't see anything, but I felt that peace. And I just began praying. I opened up the scriptures and I allowed God to speak to me through His living word, and I was blessed by what I read. And after reading His word for a while, I closed my Bible and I put it at my side, and I just said a prayer that one of the missionaries had taught me that week. He taught me just to go before the Lord and to ask God what He wanted of me. I had so many things that I could be doing. I had a lot of opportunities as I was about to graduate to be youth minister, a Catholic teacher, and things like this. But I wanted to know what God wanted me to do, not just what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. So I put my Bible at my side and I said that prayer. I said, Lord, what do you desire of me? I want you to call me. Lord, I want you to show me my vocation. What am I to do with my life? And I said that prayer, and I found a little area in the cave that I was able to stretch out in, and I laid down, and I was at peace. And I figured, God, you're either going to answer my prayer or I'm going to have a little nap inside of this cave. It's a win-win. And so I laid down, and for a while it was just peaceful and it was silent. And I was there and I was with God. And then about 10-15 minutes later, I heard this voice coming from the back of the cave. And it was a small, peaceful, and calm voice, and it said, James, you will be a missionary for me. And so, like I said, I was lying down, so I sat up quick, and my heart started to race, and I was breathing heavy, and my first thought was which one of my friends snuck in the cave behind me and was playing a joke on me. And I realized no one else was in the cave. I had come in the only entrance. but hard-hearted as I was, I decided to lie back down. And so I laid back down, and another minute later, I heard that same small voice coming from the inside of the cave saying, "James, you will be a missionary for me." And so this time I sit up and starting to sweat, and my heart's really going crazy now, and I'm just breathing heavy. And I'm like, "Lord, is that really what you want of me? Is that really what you want?" That wasn't what I was thinking. That wasn't one of the options I had on the table. That wasn't one of my ideas. I had all these other great ideas, these ways to serve you. Do you really want me to give them all up? And he said, yes. And so I had this conversation with God, and I said, "God, I don't know what it means to be a missionary. I don't know how to do it. I don't know if I have the strength to leave behind my family and my friends, my college education, everything that I love, my comforts of home. I don't know if I can do that. But what I can do is give you my yes. And if you do everything else, Lord, I will follow you. I will become a missionary." And so I said that, and I really said it in the silence of my heart. And then I heard God tell me to say it out loud. I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Say it out loud." So I took a deep breath, and I said, "Lord, I will be a missionary for you." And in that moment, my heart was cut open, and I just felt this incredible burning fire, this burning love, the love that the Holy Spirit brings with him, just fill me up inside. And it was something that I had never felt before that, and something that I have, nothing has ever rivaled that heat since, and it's a fire that still burns in my heart today. And in that moment, God spoke to me. God spoke to me, and I knew that he had called me to be a missionary, and I knew that I had found my vocation. And so I became a missionary. It's been 4 years now. It's better than any life I could ever imagine. And I'm a Catholic missionary.